Hey, it's Mr. Johns. Welcome to Red Dead Redemption Episode 6. Really not following any progression other than just playing through the game and having fun with it. And I wanted to start today with, um, you know, what does it look like when I play uh, when I play the game? Um, so I had just woke up, put my fire out, folded up my tent, and packed it all on the horse. It's early morning, and as a cowboy, what do I want to do? I have the whole world available to me, and I can get in all kinds of trouble, or I can accomplish a lot of positive things, perhaps. So, what is it that I want to do? So here's how I do it. First, I hit options on my joystick, and I look at the map and see where exactly I am. And so I am way down here. I know my group, my gang, is over here, and I always have. Oh, there it is, up here. It's on top of Horseshoe Overlook. That little campfire logo represents where we are camped. And we're hiding out. I mean, we're still outlaws. We still are, if you see this area down here in Blackwater, this is where we tried to rob a some kind of boat or courier, river courier service or something, and it didn't go very well. We are still wanted, dead or alive, there, and I don't know if that'll ever get out of red. I imagine it will, but I've been close there, been near to there, but and once I tried to go right into downtown Blackwater. Bad idea. I died quickly. The entire town goes after you, so the bounty must be pretty high. So what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Well, I had mentioned it before. If you were just playing the game, all you would know is to go to these yellow dots, and those are missions as that are part of the story. And so I've got one there. Micah asked me to meet him at his camp site, and I've got one here. John Marston, he's the other main characters. My character and his are the two main characters, protagonists. They call us, even though we're bad guys. But so those are the two things, the only two things that I would really know about, other than kind of exploring. I would stumble upon some things. But luckily, I've got that interactive website that has added so much more to the game to me. And so let's go ahead, and it's the interactive map. Let's go ahead and bring that up again. And you can see where I'm at. In fact, I am right in here somewhere. And I tried to find this. This is where I camped. But I tried to find this. This was kind of a spoiler. I tried to find this grave because that's a collectible. Try to find all the gravestones of your gang members. I assume that these were all gang members who have previously died. Unfortunately, this guy is still alive, so that was a spoiler. I found out that he dies in the next chapter. So I even went online to find out what's going on. How do I find this grave? And people say, well, he actually made them tearful when he died in chapter 3. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Maybe I didn't want to know that, but I am using this map to find things. So I try to kind of clear an area while I'm there, but what I discovered is, so perhaps I'm a little bit ahead of myself if that's more chapter 3 stuff. In fact, this, it says right here, is our campsite for chapter 3. We will eventually move there. So I am probably a little ahead of myself. I think I was running from the law, and I ended up just running and running and running, and I discovered this whole side of the map. So I think it would probably be wise for me to work my way back towards the camp. And I can either turn off, I can hide all, and then just go back and find our camp, which was what, right up here on top of this, I believe. Yep, right here. And I can set a waypoint with that, or I can kind of go try to not that go try to find some things that are in between, and that's kind of the smartest thing. So try to go find some things on your way. And I'm going to turn off all those cycle things that sometimes are hard to find. There's a ghost train, but it only spawns in the middle of the night. I found this, and I think maybe I should work my way over here. This is a collectible cigarette card. This is a stranger, which begins the legendary fish quest. Oh, available chapter 3, and I'm not there. I'm chapter 2. So, and then this is some pirate rum, which is loot. And these are just plants. And I for 100% completion, I should really find all of those. So what I think I'm going to do is, since I'm here, I'm going to work my way right around that corner. And so I'm going to drag that map to monitor number 2. And you can see there's a lot of the map I haven't discovered yet. But since I'm here, I think I need to be here. And it looks like that pathway probably goes right down to that shack. And that shack is probably where I'm going, although I want to find some of those plants while I'm there too. So I'm going to go ahead and hit X on the controller. That automatically gives me a waypoint. And I am going to kind of show you, an example of what I do when the cowboy wakes up in the morning, and this is how I decide kind of what the plan is for the day. And it very much brings me into the storyline, like I'm the cowboy, this is me. Especially when I actually wake up in the morning, that's the most fun because I'm waking up too. So when I wake up, I put my tent away, I roll up my bedroll, put out the fire, and then I decide what I want to go do. Now, my first mission is always the most fun because I let my imagination work for me on that. Whereas right now it's actually middle of the day. I didn't just wake up, although you can sleep. I mean, he can pitch a tent and sleep in the middle of the day, and you can tell him just to sleep till sundown, and then you can work all night and go explore all night if you want. It's a whole nother world at night. So I am just following the red line, and while you're out here, it's a chance to look at all the wildlife that are running around. There's deer on the right, and but also most of the strangers you meet are. I'm gonna see if I've been here before. Yeah, I have. Most of the strangers you meet are just perfectly fine. They just ride on by you, but you do have to watch out for other bad guys, criminals, and even other gangs. There's some other gangs that we're definitely in conflict with. So I mean, the gangs of Wild West times are not that much different than gangs in big cities today. They're concerned about their territory and revenge and finding money. So I know I had mentioned before that it's hard to be a good guy in a game like this. Part of that, there's a deer right next to me. Part of that reason is that you'll get held up. Like a gang will attack you. That's happened several times to me, and I have not yet figured out if there's a way just to surrender and let them take your money. But that's not really what you do, though, right? I mean, maybe you should, but in the Wild West days, you're not going to just let people rob you. But there was a few instances where there's like 5 people and I'm just one guy, and I'm like, well, the smart thing to do is let them have my money. But I couldn't figure out how to. They just started shooting, so I defended myself and killed them all. And so you kind of become a bad guy. You kind of have no choice but to do bad things sometimes. And like I had said earlier in the other episode, you can try to balance that out by doing good things as well. So here we find ourselves coming down to a cabin on the water, and you can see the graphics here and just the beauty of it. And you see there's characters out there in their canoes. I can go out there in a canoe too if I want. And so then just to remind myself of what I'm doing here, I'll go back to that other screen and I'll just drag it over just to remind myself of what my options are here. So there should be some aged pirate rum to the right of the fireplace, so that's going to be inside on a plank resting on top of barrels. Should be easy to find. This is the stranger that begins the fishing quest. It says chapter 3, and I'm in chapter 2. I'm pretty sure. That's how often I do the quests, the actual quests. I mostly just go explore and treasure hunt. And then there's a card underneath the sofa inside the Gill Island fishing cabin. I guess that's what they call that. So there's a couple things here. I'm looking for the rum, for the card, and for the stranger. And so that reminds me what I'm actually doing here. And the symbol of the big question mark symbol is means stranger. So maybe the fishing, I'm going to go in first. Maybe the fishing, maybe I can spark the, there's a fish on the floor. Maybe I can spark that fishing mission. I feel bad about stealing. I actually do when it's not abandoned. When it's an abandoned shack or the people are all dead, I don't really care as much. So it's kind of weird. It's weird playing a character that's against your own. I don't know why there's a fish on the floor. Oh, I can examine. What does it say? Examine. Oh, there's the card right there. So it flashes to help you find it, and that's the collectible cigarette card. All right, largemouth bass, and you can just put that away. And then I think I might as well, while I'm in here, I might as well look around. Wasn't there something to the left of the fireplace on barrels, the rum? But maybe that's outside. So let's take a look outside here. That's probably the stranger who's fishing. That makes sense. But the barrels, there was a piece of wood between two barrels, and I didn't see that. So let's go ahead and look in there again. A piece of wood between two barrels. There it is. I think that's it right there. Rum. Yeah, it flashed a little bit. Aged pirate rum. All right, so I've done what I can do in here. Again, feel a little bit bad for just breaking in and stealing. And now we're going to go talk to the guy that we just stole his stuff. But let's see if we can trigger the fishing mission. So we greet him, and it looks like it's gonna. If it breaks into a cinematic like that, that means it's gonna. And then it gives you the name of the mission in the lower right corner.
Want an autograph or a photograph? I'm sorry. People often get nervous, but there's really no need to. I'm just a normal guy who, well, happens to be very famous. Okay. Who are you? Jerry Gill.
So he thinks he's a famous
Books.
fisherman.
I'm in the newspaper all the time. Here's one from the New Hanover Gazette from a few years back. And this is a book I wrote. Huh? I wrote it. Good for you.
So you have the option to listen or to skip. If you hold down X for long enough, it'll skip it.
Nice to meet you.
You too, Arthur.
Sure you don't want a photo?
Not right now.
You know, mothers, they often offer me their daughters.
Just for a photograph?
No, to marry. But I say no. I'm married to the fish.
So, you're famous for fishing?
Very.
That pays well?
Pretty well. What I mostly do is send fans stuffed fish.
Stuffed fish?
Yeah. Here, let me show you. Come with me.
You're selling these?
All right, so that, he stuffs fish, so like taxidermy, and that's probably what was on the floor inside the cabin.
It's sort of ridiculous.
So I'm listening to see if I can pick anything up that's important.
Even more fish if I add them. It helps them to know that out there's some man fighting with Neptune on a daily basis.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to skip that.
Winning.
Tired of it. So I'm not going to get anything from him. But there's the catch and mail the legendary fish to Gill. So I got a map from him, and I'm supposed to catch the legendary fish. And that's part of the game is there's a legendary everything. So if you're hunting bear, there will be a legendary bear. And that's one of the challenges is to hunt each of those. With fishing, however, I'll have to find a bait shop and find the right lure to be able to catch that legendary fish. So there's the update. Just wanted to catch you up with what I do. And now what I would do next is decide, do I want to go try to fish before I forget about it? Maybe. Or I can continue, just look at the map and see what else is nearby. But I think I'm just going to head back towards camp, which is really close. So that's what I'm going to do for now. And we'll tackle another adventure next time around. But for now, Mr. Johns is out.